Okay, this is just a follow-up to mitosis v meiosis, and this is fertilization, because bizarrely people kind of have some misideas of what this actually is. I was going to say misconceptions, but that's a terrible pun. So, all right, male gametes are sperm cells, and there are a lot of them, millions and millions and millions. And these sperm cells, perfectly, the most brilliantly adapted cells for their job, because they are long distance, high endurance swimmers, and they have the perfect cell structure for that. But they basically want one thing. So here are my sperm cells, okay, or proper term, spermatozoas. Okay, these are sperm cells, and they want to find an egg cell. And you will notice the size of the sperm cell in comparison to the egg cell or the ovum is huge, right? The egg cell is so much bigger. But ultimately, this is what happens. One sperm cell is going to make it, all right? The Michael Phelps of the sperm cell world is going to make it. And in the head of the sperm cell, there are some enzymes that are designed to dissolve the wall, the membrane of the egg cell. And so one sperm cell is going to get to the point where it can get its head inside the egg cell. And the only bit that goes inside the egg cell is, in fact, the head. In fact, it's really, the head is just nothing more than the nucleus. And the nucleus will come across to the egg cell nucleus, and they will fuse together. And what we end up with is something called a zygote. A zygote is a fertilized egg cell. And this nucleus now contains genetic material that was in the sperm cell and genetic material that was in the egg cell. So I want to draw this in a slightly different way. So remember from mitosis v meiosis that sperm cell nuclei only have single chromosomes because they're produced by meiosis. Okay, so here would be the nucleus. Obviously, if this was humans, there would be 23 chromosomes. So N equals 23 chromosomes in human sperm cells. And here would be the egg cell, ovum cell nucleus, and it would have its chromosomes in singles. So N equals 23. So because the chromosomes are in singles, remember the term is they are haploid, right? So the haploid number, the number of chromosomes that you have in a gamete, a sperm cell or an egg cell in humans, is 23. So they're haploid. Once they have fused together, I think you should probably see what's going to happen here. If we look at the nucleus of the zygote, the fertilized egg cell, you're going to see that N equals, remember, if there's 23 blue ones in the sperm cell and 23 pink ones in the egg cell, here you'll notice first off that the chromosomes are in pairs, so they are now diploid because there's double pairs, double of them, and N, the diploid number, is 46. So at fertilization, the single chromosomes from the sperm cell and the single chromosomes from the egg cell pair up to make pairs of chromosomes in the zygote. And this zygote is then going to go, this thing here is then going to go full on through the cell cycle, all right? It's going to go right through the cell cycle. And so this cell is going to grow and it's going to split into 2 identical cells, and then 4, and then 8, and 16, and 32, and so on and so forth. And that will ultimately become an embryo, which will then ultimately become a baby. So fertilization is the fusion of the 2 nuclei of gametes. And because the gametes, and this is the big takeaway, because gametes are produced by meiosis, which halves the number of chromosomes in each sperm cell and each egg cell. When you get to fertilization and those 2 nuclei fuse together, we go back to our regular number of chromosomes. So meiosis, by reducing the number of chromosomes, helps maintain the correct number of chromosomes in each offspring from one generation to the next.